Hey, good morning, guys. Been a long time since I've posted anything. This is going to be my cowboy rant. Instead of posting on Facebook and constantly messaging or what have you, I'm going to give you my 2 cents worth over a video. I'm going to go and put this on YouTube so I can upload it to Facebook because it might be more than 15 minutes. So anyway, let me get right to it. First of all, and this is for the Cowboy fans. If you're a Cowboy hater, get the you-know-what out of here, man, and go do something. Go cut the grass, go paint the house, go do something else. This is for the Cowboy fans, so we can discuss amongst ourselves. So anyway, here it is, guys. Generally, there's a rule of thumb that you know, we like to set up goals or methods. I believe that the Cowboys defense, a rule of thumb, is they're good enough to allow 17 points per game. That's goal number one for the defense. Allow 17 points or less a game. If you do that, very good chance of winning. On the flip side of the ball, the offense should score 21 points a game. If at minimum you score 21 points a game, I believe they will win. So the offense should score 21 points and the defense should allow no more than 17. Now, if it's less, then that's great. But by and large, if they allow 17 or less, that should be a win. In the NFL, and I just heard this morning on talk radio in reference to another team, but listening to Mike, and one of the guys made a comment about Coach so-and-so is a great, scheme's great. Belichick is a great schemer. He can scheme points. Every now and then, you don't want to rely on schemes, but yes, that's what creates, you create a new wrinkle in an offense when you scheme things. You see the tendencies and you scheme according to the tendencies that you see on film. That is what is referred to as, being able to scheme. In the NFL, one of my complaints against Linehan, Coach Linehan, which I really don't care for the guy, is you should be able to scheme a touchdown per game. Easily, you should be, especially when you have the offense that the Cowboys have. Williams is not a number one receiver, but he's a good complementary receiver. You've got Beasley, you've got Dez, you've got Dunbar out of the backfield. Hell, before Romo got hurt, Dunbar was a star against the Giants last year, And then obviously Zeke and Witten. You've got so much firepower, you should be able to scheme a freaking touchdown. So my beef with yesterday's game is not that they lost. I expect them to lose. Hell, I expected them to lose more than 4 games. I expect them to lose 5 games, actually, to be honest with you, before Romo got hurt. So it's not that they lost. What I have a problem and issue with is how they lost. I really feel that Dez was off his game. Anybody, Stevie Wonder could see that one. He was off his game, and that's okay because he can't be on. I mean, I'll take what Dak has given us. He's given us a great reason to be cheering this year and into the future, no doubt. But the problem that I have is Linehan should have recognized, okay, this is not going to be one of his games. He missed throws. I mean, he missed a lot of throws. He missed several throws that were, that we've seen him make before. Now, I'm one of those that believe that Dak's accuracy is something to be desired. I mean, it's not the greatest, but when you've got that line, you don't have to be the greatest, So he works well under the system. His strength, no doubt, is his poise. Nothing phases this guy. And so that's his strength, and that's a great attribute. I'll take that. So, back to Linehan. I think when he starts missing these throws, as a coach, you need to recognize, you know what, my guy out there doesn't have his A game. Hell, he might not even have his B game. So you know what, let me make things a little bit easier. The Giants had 7 men on the box every freaking play. Sometimes they'd get up an 8th guy. You know? So my belief system has always been that if you go with 3 wide, you move another guy out. And if they want to go too deep, you dictate to them what you want them to do. I can't remember the last time, Witten caught a seam route. Something that Romo, built a little career out of with Witten. Why? Because the cover 2 is going to roll their coverages to Dez to keep from getting burned deep. You don't want to give up the big play, so you'd rather give up something smaller in the middle than give up a touchdown to Dez on the outside. That's not in this system. I don't know why, but it's not. Yesterday I would have liked to have seen a little bit more screens, a little bit of flares on the outside on a one-on-one matchups for Zeke or Dunbar. And another one of my beefs, and I've noticed this, in the big games against Pittsburgh and Minnesota, I don't understand why Zeke is sitting on the damn sidelines on 3rd down. On 3rd down, the threat should always be there, especially on 3rd down. Especially at the end of the game in the 4th quarter, So my complaint was not on the loss. My complaint was, I feel that not only was Dak off, which he's given us so much that we can forgive that performance, but that the coaches didn't do enough to help him. Dez didn't do enough to help him. As a competitor, you should be able to say, hey, you know what, one-on-one, I can't be stopped. Or you know what, maybe the top 2 corners could stop me, but the 3rd guy can't. This guy is not, I don't think, one of your top 5 corners in the league. Hell, he looked like it yesterday. He looked all world yesterday. It's just unacceptable to have not to be able to get Dez the ball. Now, the problem I had with the 7 points is you should be able to scheme. You should be good enough to score 10 points, stumbling through there. You should be able to scheme another one. You should be able to score 17 points every game. So, I went back into the season. If the defense were to allow 17 or less, which they have this year, they've done that, I believe I counted 8 times. 8 times the defense held the opposing offense to 17 points. 8 times, which is great. In the beginning of the season, we had people talking about, the defense can't do shit, the defense can't do that. The offense couldn't score. The offense couldn't score. The freaking the kicker was the highest scorer. You can't have that. An offense needs to score 21 damn points. That's how good this offense is. They need to score minimum 21 points. So this year, they've allowed 17 points or less 8 times. The problem isn't the defense, guys. We might not have too many Pro Bowlers back there, but man, they're being coached up big time. Big time. That defensive line, Marinelli has done an outstanding job. Out-fucking-standing job. For what he has on the defensive line, he's doing a great freaking job. And it angers me to be able to score only 7 points because they played a hell of a game to have been able to win that game. Now, I looked at 2014 record. 2014 record. Let me see, where is this? 2014 when Romo was playing. He lost game 1. I'm sorry. You know what? I gave you the wrong stats. The 8 was for the times that Romo had that kind of defense. On 2014, when Romo was playing, they lost game 1 and they scored 17 points. They lost another one down the road. They had they lost by 17, 10, and 21 points. Can you imagine? 21 points and they lost. What did they score? 26, 34, 38, 20, 30, 31, 31, 31, 41, 38, 42, 44. Look at the last, 6, 7 games. 30, 31, 31, 31, 41, 38, 42, 44. That's what Romo was putting up. Now, that was a good 2014 team, okay? That was a good team, you know. In 2013, when they went 8-8, that defense allowed 17 or less points 3 times. But they lost. When the games they lost, this is what a Romo-led offense, which was much, much, much worse than what he's got now. He lost a game. He led an offense that scored 16 points. It says 2013. 16 points and they lost. 21 points and they lost. 48 fucking points Romo led and they lost. 30 points led in offense and they lost. 17, 28, 36 freaking points and they lost. 22 points. Do you see a 7? No. And that was an 8-8 team in 2013. 2012, again, 17 or less, 3 games the defense gave them that. They lost 7, 18, 29, 24, 13, 31 points and they lost. 31 points again and they lost. 18 points and they lost. Look at the points that they're putting up. And again, the defense was worse than this one. But the offense for sure was a hell of a lot worse than this one. 2011, they lost. Romo led a team, an offense, to score 24 points, 30 points, 16 points, 13 points, 34 points, and they lost. 7 points and 14 points. Back in 2011, one game they scored 7 points. 2012, one game when they scored 7 points. And those offenses were much less than these. That is the issue that I have. You cannot score 7 freaking points. This offense is way too good for that. Romo was scoring 20s, 30s, and even one time 48 points and lost. He's putting up the points. So that leads to the next question. Should he be playing? At this point, the commitment has been made to Dak. And hey, I have no problems rolling with Dak. But when things like this happen, it's very, very frustrating. A good friend of mine, a good buddy of mine here, Cowboy fan, posted, might as well get out of the system. I understand and I agree to an extent. But the issue that I have is, how can we, when we're bad, I think we're really bad. And right now, I don't know. I just wonder whether it's going to be a house of cards where everything's going to crumble down. I don't know. I hope not. I hope Garrett's done a much better job than that to have this all collapse. It's the 7 points. And again, part of it is the coaching part. Now, when you got a guy who was scoring 20, 30 points and even 40 points and losing, I am of the mind that this was Romo's job until he lost it. So now, people can say, well, yeah, Joe, but he hasn't played the last 2 years. True. So why not find out what you've got? Find out if this is a guy. In the history of the NFL, in the 53 Super Bowls or however many they've been, no rookie has led a team to the Super Bowl. No rookie ever. But we got him. If you really believe that, so be it. Hey, I've got no choice but to believe that we can do it. We got no choice. But if I was a gambling man, what I would do is I would put it on Romo. Say, hey, you know what? You've done more with a lot less. Now, what happens if he gets hit in the first play and he's broken in half? Well, then, there you have it. Problem solved. Dak, you're the guy from here on out. This year and next year. Solution for me would have been, I would have given the keys back to Tony and say, look, we got a shiny new car. You deserve to drive it. We've never had a team this good. You've been there for us for whatever, 10 years. Here it is, guy. Here are the keys, Tony. Take us to the promised land. That's just me. So what happens if Dak has a bad game? Hey, Tony, here you go, buddy. Bail us out. It's not only a matter of just X's and O's and football. It's about, to me, it is about life. It's about a loyalty. Loyalty to a guy who was the face of the franchise when we sucked. We had no business winning 8 games, and yet Tony got us to that point. You know what? I'll never wear a Tony Romo jersey. You know, I'm not a huge Tony Romo fan, but I'll defend him till the end of time in the sense that he is the most scrutinized player, I think, in sports. I hear that he chokes and this, that, the other. Hell, man, he won more than what he should have with what he had. And again, look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. When you put up 48 points and lose 30 points and you lose 28 points and you lose 36 and you lose 30, 24, 31, 31, 18, 34 and you lose. We lost with 7 freaking points. 7 freaking points. That's all we could score. So again, it's not that they lost. It's how they lost that concerns me. You can't, if they would have scored 21 points and lost, that's fine. If there's mistakes here, misreads or what have you, Dak was just completely lost yesterday. And again, hey, it's one game. We're not going to throw him under the bus and say, hey, you're not a franchise quarterback. No, of course not. But what I'm saying, again, I've never been a Linehan fan. I don't think he's people say, oh, top notch. I don't think he's very good at all, to be honest with you. He's good. I wouldn't say top notch. And again, the only reason why he ended up here is because Jerry took away Garrett's play calling duties, which, by the way, during this time when Romo was putting up those numbers, Garrett was the offensive coordinator. So Garrett can do the play calling. It's just that Jerry chooses him not to do it, which sucks. But anyway, so I've said my piece. That way I don't have to text or put it on Facebook. The team, in my opinion, is better with Romo. For the people who say he hasn't played, he gets hurt, whatever, I would say true. But the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. He puts up numbers, and he put them up with a much lesser team than he's got here. So, moving forward, if they want to go with Dak, hey, not like we can do anything about it. Let's roll with Dak. But again, never in the history of the Super Bowl has a rookie led a team to the Super Bowl. History tells us that. History has told us that for 51 years. History has told us experience means something. Which reminds me, this is part of the culture, I guess. We also have a president who has no experience. It's more than just X's and O's. These are things that we encounter in life, for crying out loud. So I think that, a little bit more attention should be paid to some of these things. But oh well, that's my Cowboy rant for today. I hope you guys have a great day. I've got a lot of work, and almost in a week we're going to be heading back to Texas. So we got a hell of a lot of work. There's money to be made, so I'm doing well. Feeling good because we've got work to do, and the countdown has begun. Pinnacle Glass will be shutting down for the year in 10 days or so. We got 5, 6, maybe 7 working days left for the year for Pinnacle Glass, and we ended up with another great year. So life is good. Would have wished the Cowboys would have won, but oh well, they didn't. I hope they get back on track, and they're going to be interesting games. We're playing Tampa. They've been playing well these last couple of weeks. Detroit's been playing well. So let's see what happens, guys. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll talk to you when I talk to you. Bye.